Well, that's a way to pick up. So yeah, we're gonna cast a little bit of Counter-Strike here. Keep an eye to the line. Team Spirit taking on Big. Pistol is about to get underway, and while Big are on the CT side, again they did bring up the point, the fact that it doesn't really matter which half you start on here, but. Well, it's going to be Big on the CT side. They've got utility in their back pockets. Tizian and Tabson. They've got a couple of flashes, a few nades in there, and a smoke in the hands of Tabson, who's got himself a headshot as well.
Taking a look at Big starting it out with that kill. They're actually going in for more aggression. Tabson on the nade, finds one, looks up towards top mid for another, but cannot land it. On the back of that, they're just going to fall off. A man advantage is good enough for them in a 4 versus 3. With Spirit regaining bomb control, 2 players towards the top of middle. They've got options open to them, but with Magic's on 2 HP, their windows of opportunity are starting to close up, and it's getting claustrophobic as they're trying to get out of middle with a little bit of short control. Idis Balance, though, can't find it. And again, they just group up with a smoke down as well. It's this isn't Tyloo. They're not going to be just jumping through that. They'll slow the pace even further, see if they can get around it, have a little bit of a boost for Sumdai Young to see if he can find a kill. And what's interesting here is Big have completely rotated. They've left the A-bomb site, just with Smooya on long. Sitting up now, he adjusted his chair, and the rest of the team looking down towards middle. They'll try to come up behind the short players and catch them afterwards. This may lead to a bomb plant, though, for Spirit.
Tizian and Tabson make their way through the double doors, and finally action on towards the A-bomb side. Smooya looking to try and pick them up, but not landing the headshots, not getting it done. And now Tizian moves through a bomb planted. Good kill. Magic's able to pick it up. Smooya comes in with a headshot, and it's all on Sumdai Young, looking to try and get it done. 1v3. He finds a headshot on towards the car, but the utility goes up into the air. The flash not quite connecting, but he's still alive, still kicking. Trying to play the time, letting them come close. He's still alive, but next finally puts a bullet in the brain, and it'll be a pistol pickup for Big.
As we said, though, conceding over the bomb plant gives Spirit a little bit of cash, the potential to grab some weapons immediately. We'll see what they decide to invest into. I think it's a very CIS strategy to have those 2 rifles. That's become even more prominent recently, and I see a scout bought up by Chopperish immediately. Or Chopper, just plain and simple. He's gotten rid of the ish.
Well, Chopper's actually a really interesting talking point when it comes to Team Spirit, right? You know, coming into this roster, he was known for just being a fragger, right? But he's coming into this team, and he's an in-game leader. And I was talking, obviously, with Magic's a little bit before, and he was saying he thinks he's a really good leader. He definitely leads the team well, and it feels like he puts a lot of effort in. So I'm looking forward to seeing if the results can come off the back of the effort that's being put in from Chopper. As of late, it hasn't been the greatest of results for Team Spirit. They went over to the MDL LAN and didn't perform too well there. Tizian trying to hold off this B aggression from Team Spirit. They are currently sending 2 players over towards this side of the map. It was originally 2, but now only Mir, who wants to try and get it done himself, but he's taking damage. He's dropped the 33. Flash in towards the tunnel as he goes back further. And well, Next going to take a lot of damage on the cross. This is not the way Big would want that to go. But still, Eggman team most of the control of the map, sending 3 players in towards B. But Team Spirit completely vacated. So this is where Big can start to push right through the tunnels, take so much control and get so much info. But they have to rely on Smooya to not fall here.
Yeah, Smooya's going to be a pivotal player. He doesn't actually spot them coming up short, but backs off anyways. Could be for the better. It just means the info doesn't go towards them. Still, though, Big are pushing through tunnels. And coming up behind, another tag for Idis Balance. Without any armor, he's quickly dispatched by the SMGs. But he's done enough now to bring that fight into their favor, prompting Big to rotate back over towards the B bomb site and maintain tunnels control. Spirit are now open to push the A bomb site with just 1 player in position. Smooya, as discussed previously with the M4, Magix gets caught on the cross. Now Smooya can go up, and 1 low HP player there as well. Murr's in a lot of danger.
Well, Smooya back on the ramp, smoke up in his face. He will try and do some more work. He's already done enough, but he needs to drop the bomb, and there it is. The bomb on the floor as Terrace cleans it up as well. Really solid start from Big. They get rid of that force buy. It was a problem coming into it, but Big makes sure that it doesn't fall. 2-0 for the mostly German side, having 3 players hailing from Germany. Smooya from the UK and Zanteras from Turkey. Quite the mix there.
Absolutely. Communicating in English, it's been a bit of an issue for them in the past, something that was brought up quite a lot. But with time, it won't be an issue anymore, as the players get more used to it.
Oh, well, Next looking to line them up. 2 kills on the FAMAS. Sumdai Young on the Glock actually being able to pick up 1 kill. Smooya turns around eventually, catches Magic's. Chopper with big chops on the block. We'll put Smooya on the chopping block, and well, a nice kill. Sumdai Young With the headshot, next finished off. 2v2 as they go back in towards the tunnels, and no way, Team Spirit, no way they can pull this off, Mitch, surely.
I mean, both players are low, about to run into Tizian with an SMG. You would hope not. But this has already been a disaster of a round for Big.
Yeah.
Practically no investment from Spirit, and they managed to walk away with 3 kills.
Look at the time as well, and they have time to relocate, which is the big problem here. Some Young is just going to hang around in the tunnels, but they want Big to start guessing, start to second guess themselves. And think maybe they've gone back for the long play, but Tizian's getting aggressive, and Some Young has the perfect angle to deal with this Tizian. He may not be able to check this, and he will find the kill. That's the bomb, and now Chopper has to run all the way back to pick up the bomb. It's not going to be easy for him whatsoever. And while Tizian's got full control, they're bringing Santeras over. They know Chopper was not near the bomb. Otherwise, he would have probably appeared by now. So they need to be aware. It could be a mid, and that's exactly where he is. Santeras gets the info. He deals the damage. Now Chopper within 1 bullet from death. On 12 HP, he'll go back in towards the upper tunnels, looking to try and recover the bomb. 22 seconds as well. It's not looking likely he's going to be able to pull this off. Big. They shouldn't have been this close, but at least they look like they've done it. Chopper's recovered the bomb and now making a beeline for the A-bomb side, but I don't think he's going to get there on time. So has to run in towards mid, wants to die before time, and he's done so. So 3-0 Big do get themselves 3 in a row.
Here's where the challenge comes, though. Team Spirit about to pull out the rifles and really put the test to Big. AWP making its way over to Idis Balance, and we've already seen the damage he's been able to field with just a scout without any armor. Took down a lot of big players, tagging up 2, leading to their demise almost immediately. Now for Spirit. They're looking towards long early on. Flashes coming over. Santeras peeks out at just the wrong moment. And that's long control going to Spirit, even trying to force a fight afterwards. Down in pit. Chopper's getting some good damage out and finds it on Tapson. There's an opening duel and significant map control for the terrorists. They've also got 1 player lurking over towards the B bomb site. That's Some Young just tucked in tunnels. And it's completely open right now as Tizian starts to rotate down. This is a little bit of a risky play. And Big, not having the manpower to fully cover the map efficiently, have made a gamble that could have hurt them quite significantly. But Tizian goes back up to check it and sees no one is here still. Spirit leaving their options open, having somebody in that spot. They can late push to B if they fake this out on A. They're also watching for the flank as well. You see the position that Murr is in. He's just staring at the doors, waiting for someone to come behind. They know Big have to react somehow. You can't just stagnate for a minute and wait for the push with 1 guy on the B-bomb side alone.
Well, smoke on towards the A-bomb side. Flash ready to go around the corners. Team Spirit are sending most of their troops in towards long. They have 1 in the lower tunnels, but the main attention has to be drawn in towards this long spot. Santeras does well to pick up Mir, and he did find 1 before falling, and an advantage is on this T side. 30 seconds in play. Santeras will get rid of Chopper, and we're into 3 versus 3. 25 seconds. Some Young finally strikes from his position on the other end of the map, but Magic's the youngster stepping up with 2 great kills. Team Spirit finally post their first.
And that's what happens when you stagnate. Big don't have the information to play with. Tizian gets caught on the rotate from B over. Some Young just waiting around middle for, he knew someone had to rotate eventually. Then over on the Big side, they had the 3 players on A. Not much they could do because they lost long control. They didn't re-seize it. They didn't use their utility to get back out there, as limited as it was towards the end of the round. And with that, you never know where Spirit are going to strike. Now look at this buy. I mean, that is a mixed bag for sure. Just pulling out whatever they can to give them a chance at doing damage and keeping the T-side economy low. But knowing they'll more than likely lose this round, they want to keep the money over for the next, where they can get their rifles. They can even get an AWP out if they want to, which presumably they will.
Well, Team Spirit taking that short control. It's not a strategy you see too often on Dust 2.
one of the 3 strategies, you know.
They do use it quite a bit, don't they? Teams love a bit of catwalk, and well, only the 1 posted so far for Team Spirit, but they should be taking a second here with the buy from Big being terrible. The Chopper goes over the top of the wall to make sure that no one has pushed through in the small window of opportunity Big has to get out in towards middle. But they hide behind the boxes. Tapson on the other end of the doors, and Terrace back has to drop in towards CT. Damage done on towards Nex, who's on 14 HP now, but Team Spirit just hoping that they can get some opening picks here on Big once they get hungry for this aggression, and that's exactly what will come their way. Tabson, good headshot on the USP, but Magic's and Ida's balance, cleaning up with the pistols and the AK, and now the B-bomb site seems to be the spot where they want to end it.
This is good for Smooya because he's got the scout and Ida's balance is 39 HP, so that's a one-shot kill on offer immediately.
Yeah. And while Smooya is going to be holding on, flashes up into the air, and Chopper will get rid of Smooya on Xantares. 1v4 with the MP9, getting back into the site. 15 seconds left for the bomb plant, so plenty of time to make sure that Team Spirit will get this one under their belt. So Xantares, all about just finding a kill. Noise mid, he has been spotted, switches out to the AK, and now this is where Xantares becomes a lot more potent. When he has this weapon in his hands, he can be absolutely crisp, and he's got the first headshot. Mir has been finished off, looking for a second, and while Chopper will get rid of Xantares. 2 on the board for Team Spirit. They do win that one pretty cleanly as well. Moving into the next, this is where Big have a little bit of a decision to make. They're probably going to go for a little bit of a half, but I would say that's the smart decision.
In that round just there, Mur had the right idea, knowing that because the rifle was dropped down towards tunnels, that's where Xantares was going to go. But I feel like Spirit could have done a little bit better by sending 1 or 2 players through the tunnels to go down and meet up with them. Probably just the 1 and then regroup on the bomb site, leave 2 there so you can hold it onto it. But you know more than likely Xantares' goal is going to be to pick up that AK because he either has an SMG or a pistol. They hadn't spotted it, I don't believe. They lose 1 player for it. It's not the worst, though. Spirit is certainly building up a little bit of bank on most players as they push forward towards early short control. Magix finds 1, repeat comes through, flashes a little bit late, but it catches 1 eventually. Not much is found on the back of it though. Xantares with a kill, and immediately afterwards, the whole team fall.
Well, Magix gets rid of Nex. It's all on Tizian in a 1v4. Deagle to play with, and his balance has the perfect angle to deal with Tizian. 3 now on the board for Team Spirit. We are even. I think this is probably going to be something that is said quite often throughout Dust 2. It's quite a back and forth affair, close halves across the board. Some say this map can be hell, but you can go over to Hellkiss and use the code ECC, and you will obviously get a little bit of a bonus added to your account. So make sure you head over to Hellkiss and use the code ECC. I just bounce. Looking down in towards middle. Flashbang through from Team Spirit early. Going for a quicker take of Catwalk this time. Sending Sumda Young up there alongside Chopper to immediately take control. Smoke's ready to go on through. And this could be a very quick Catwalk execute. The bomb has relocated over here as well. Nothing too impactful coming off the back of it. Flash up into the air. Taps him with the headshot. Sumda Young finished off with the rest of the forces from Team Spirit making their way through. And Chopper has just picked up 2 great kills in towards CT spawn. It does leave Big having to fight with a man deficit, but Xantares has pushed all the way through long. This is so much info. Now they have to rely on Smooya to be able to hold them off. Good Molotov will keep them at bay for the meantime. That buys a few more seconds for Xantares to get into position. But he's gone through mid instead of T-spawn. Chopper's aware of the possibility. You can see him looking back in towards T-spawn and Xantares. He has to be aware of this. He has to be careful. And Chopper takes his head off. Too much off the top.
Not what he was looking for. Well, what do you do if you get your haircut and they take off too much and they say, is it good? You're like, no. How are you going to fix that?
It's always that awkward little yes, right?
Yeah, well, there's not much that can be done about it now. You're going to give me, like, extensions?
Put some back up on the top, take some off the floor.
Just glue it. It'll work perfectly.
I have to say, Mitch, loving what you're doing with your head today. Slicking it back.
Oh, thank you.
Well, Smooya is a very slick player. We'll see if he can get it done. Scoped in towards the tunnels. He's picked up. Chopper overrun, though, by Ida's balance. And Ida's balance is one of those stars. You know, they're one of these players that have been brought into this Team Spirit roster that's added so much extra firepower. You can see it delivering here as they take the B-bomb site. They'll let the time tick. Tabson, too far gone. And, well, saving on to the M4A1S.
In his current position, just seeing if he can find anyone as they come out of tunnels a little bit later on. But it'll be quite a while. Spirit just sitting down, making sure there's no ninjas coming through. And for Big, this is going to get a little bit frustrating. Spirit starting to gradually lock them out. As soon as these weapons come into play, they're now on 4 rounds in a row. And again, we talked about the bank that they're building up. Yes, they lose 2 players here, but look at Ida's balance, Magix. These guys have got a lot of money in their back pocket. They can drop over, no problem. Although, Ida's balance probably doesn't want to drop over, keep the money stacked on the upper till it's a little bit higher. not the biggest of deals either way if he does. It's 4-3. Spirit are having a good performance now with the rifles. Big have got a decision to make. How do they invest? How much? You're probably talking $900 each. Roughly, they haven't got a lot of cash. They want to keep it around 2K. Make sure you get full utility. Make sure you get your rifles out afterwards. And a pause even comes through from the CT side of Big, so they can discuss exactly what they want to do. And not so much what they'll buy. I think we're almost definitely seeing maybe the CZs and armor or just the Deagles. But where they're going to deploy them, are they going to rush long? Are they going to rush tunnels?
I mean, look at Tabson. He's just firing orders all over the place. Definitely a solid leader. I was talking to a lot of people involved in Big, and they were saying after God B made his exit, Tabson said it felt like a natural step up to be an in-game leader. It's something he's always wanted to do. And I think that's a big part of the success of an in-game leader is the fact that you actually want to do it, right? Instead of having to do it out of necessity, he actually wants to be the leader, which is where the motivation is going to come in. And Ida's balance is going to start to peek in towards long. He'll spot a player just going around the corners, and Terra is picked off.
So immediately you can see there's going to be a double op setup coming through. Both Smooya and Tabson saving over a high stack of money. That'll be coming out. That's presumably the savior play. It's what Big think will change this game for them. And you can only hope that they're right. I was assuming we were going to see a faster play from Big because of how animated Tabson was in those calls, but actually it's a very safe one. No utility coming out past what would really be necessary. I was expecting maybe some flashes, a long rush, a tunnels rush, but instead just posting on aggressive angles, trying to use the Deagles to find those frags. And outside of that, there's not much they can really hope for. I think probably the best situation that could develop here is Tabson saving forward this M4.
Yeah, so can obviously drop that over for a little bit more utility. Yeah. But a double lot setup is certainly a real possibility moving into the next. Dust 2 is probably one of the perfect maps for it. We see it come through quite a bit. And it's one of those maps where you can actually viably pick up a double up setup on the T side as well. Chopper throwing the glitch smoke. It allows you to jump up on towards the boxes, but that's so quick from Ida's balance. Tabson takes away Chopper's head. Looking for a little bit more Smooya. Does his best to try and drop player in the lower tunnels. He does enough damage for Tabson to be able to assist. Maybe we'll get rid of both of them though. And that does leave Tizian left in a 1v3.
He can get a weapon here though, all right? There should be one down towards lower tunnels that he can just pick up. He's trying to do it safely, gets a Krieg, and out he goes.
That's
no
a perfect gun for this as well.
Yep. Especially because he's playing over towards the B bomb side. I'd say he'll probably keep that, and it'll allow him to solo B much more effectively. But then again, with the double op setup, Tabson, once he falls off of mid, he'll be moving up towards that B bomb site. Spawn dependent as well, because you might be sending one of them towards long, whoever's the better spawn for it. This will definitely be a save anyways. That's why we're chilling, just like Tizian is towards the T-spawn.
Yeah, he's definitely looking to carry over this SG, which can be so useful. Especially on Dust 2, we have some of these linear angles, right? Just straight angles. The SG can be very potent on the CT side. So that'll be a great save from Tizian. He'll be happy enough with his weapon that he's picked up off the floor. Now, moving into this one, I'm interested to see whether or not we're going to see this double up setup from Tabson. And there's the all picked up, thrown over to Smooya. So Tabson actually bought the sniper and tossed it over to Smooya, and they're keeping that singular op. They've got the SG in play, they've got the M4s, so they're sticking with the rifles and the singular op.
I was really thinking we were going to see the double op setup, so I'm surprised to see Tabson dropping at this move. He's got the armor and the utility coming out. Tizian again going towards that B bomb site with the Krieg in hand. It's going to help him out a lot on that hold. And Towers gets tagged for a second time coming out long, but luckily this time it's not for the 100 HP.
Yeah, now Tabson's going to have a go. Flash is good. Tabson swings wide. They're relentless in the aggression, but Magic deals with it. A really solid kill to come in on the young player. I believe his name is Boris. It's not a name the UK are too fond of, it seems, on social media. But we'll avoid getting any further in that. I just bounce in the pit. Looks up on towards the site. Scope ready to try and drop another player, perhaps even on the spot. As Team Spirit starting to make their way forward. Molotov clears the back of the car. Very methodical take of long from Team Spirit. Seems like they do want to finish on the A bomb site. They have a player up on short already pushed through. Centera is ready with the Molotov. Smoke up, double smoke in to finish off the full wall of smokes. Of course, the problem is it's so wide, Mitch, that you need to use 2 pieces of utility just to cover off that cross in towards CT. Centera's just going to boost Nex up on top to see what's going on. Doesn't see anything just yet. 40 seconds left, and they start to come on through. He's blinded. Next can't see anything just yet. Magic's hides in the corner, manages to pick up one more. Magic spraying away. Will take down Next as well, but finally Smooya stepping into things. He posted an incredible rating yesterday in their only match that they played, putting him as the top-rated player in the tournament so far, but it's not enough, it seems, in this round, as he's been finished off by Mir, leaving Tizian into the 1 versus 3.
I noticed there his Next was spraying down. He was actually looking at a Tizian screen because he was inside the smoke, so there was nothing he could really do. Couldn't see. Trying to see if he could catch any information whatsoever from it. That was interesting. Now 1 versus 3, Tizian just bailing out of there yet again. It's not worth it. Especially now with a Krieg, it's not like, even if you have the money to buy up, you're not going to be buying that up in the next round. Looking now at a 6-3 scoreline. And again, this is just flawless from Team Spirit. Ever since those weapons have come out, since their full buy round, Spirit haven't been conceding any rounds. Building up a convincing amount of cash. You're above 10K, finishing this round before the money even comes in, you're above 10K on 3 players. So like these 2 kills that Big are finding every single time that they're losing a round, it's nothing, it's inconsequential. Because it, like, I just balanced at 16K. He doesn't care. You can take all the weapons you want from him.
During that save from Big, Tabson was actually talking to the rest of his team, very animated again, discussing possibly what they can do in this next round, and it's definitely trying to figure out what they can do and fixing a couple of these mistakes, and we'll see if it does pay off for them as we get right into the next round. This round number 10. Currently Spirit showing that they are very comfortable on Dust 2. I think they've always been very comfortable on this map and continuing to show why they go towards it so often. Tizian holding on the B-bomb site. The push going through from Team Spirit. He deals the first well. Silver Young doesn't quite get anything done, but Mir certainly will. The trade is effective, it is quick, and Big don't really have a whole lot to play with in this one. And well, again, the headshots from Magics have been too hard to deal with on this Big side as they start to fall away. Team Spirit will go up to 7. And have to save that AWP over again.
So they saved the Krieg in the previous round, bought up an AWP, hoping it would be able to help them. It didn't. Not at all. I mean, Smooya went for the peek on middle, and immediately out of bounds took him down. It went into the hands of Next, and from there, it's not really done anything. Saving it over, definitely the best possibility. Xantares can stick around and see if he can maybe pick up a weapon. They know there's Krieg's on offer. Maybe even finds an exit if he's lucky. Took it in the corner. But for Spirit, this is another round where they've lost very little. Even if Xantares finds an exit, it's still only the 2 kills. Idis Balance is going to have $16,000 at the end of this round, which, you know, ain't bad. Ain't bad at all. No points for guessing who's going to be dropping the weapon. As this bomb explodes, though, Xantares is going to run up. The thing is, it's being watched adamantly.
Oh, he survives on 3 HP. Manages to capitalize, and well, 7-3 on the board. Team Spirit have been pretty dominant so far on Dust 2, I think it's fair to say. Big have got off to a decent start, but after that, not really getting too much done. Well, coming into this, I'm just looking forward to seeing if Smooya can start to light up the scoreboard, because yesterday against G2, in their close affair that they had on Inferno, he was a large part of that, right? He was the player that was stepping up. But finally, there's the double up setup you were talking about, right? Tabson's pulled it out finally. Perhaps starting to feel the pressure, and immediately it's finding success. Tabson with the opening kill on towards Mir, but Magix looks to trade it back, and he's done so effectively as he continues to move forward. He wants the pit position as well, and Xantares not expecting that at all.
All right, so who is this and what have they done with Magix? This is he's been entering on long on Dust 2. This is not the role that he came into this team to play. He's been support for the longest of times. He's the one that doesn't take armor on the pistol round, but look, they're being returned on. Tabson there with a 2nd kill on the AWP and Smooya in with another. We said the double op setup a couple rounds ago could have been the thing that changed things over into their favor, and it certainly seems to be the thing that's helping Big right here. With a man advantage and extended further as Smooya hits another shot onto Idis Balance. Chopper is now all alone. He's got the bomb at least and access towards the B bomb site. This could be a mistake from Big. If you're forced to retake onto B, you've got a double op setup doing so as well. This is definitely a situation that could swing into Chopper's favor very quickly. Look, he's planning it on B 100%. They're nowhere near it. They think he's stuck on long, maybe down in the pit, tucked in the corner, indoors, but no.
Well, they finally turned their attentions to the possibility. Tabson is looking through the cross at the door. Chopper needs to jump across. I think he will certainly do that. I think slow peeking this is pretty dumb. So he'll cross, he'll get across safely. Now he just needs to confirm the cash for the team at least moving forward. Not that they're lacking any of it, but he wants to win the clutch.
He thinks they
He'll
were
tap,
close.
they're not coming forward. And, well, he did think they were close indeed. That has wasted a few seconds, but still, they were so far away that it doesn't even matter. He'll stay on the platform, using the box as cover as the player re-enters through the tunnels. Chopper will just sit back and wait for them to try and come back through the doors, but this is going to be well calculated from Big. They don't want to throw this one away. They can't afford to let it slip, but Tabson has fallen. And now getting back into this B-bomb site is so crucial. Tizian hits the headshot. He's done it. 4 on the board for Big.
That was scary because they had no flashes to work with, no smokes, just a frag grenade and a Molotov going in for that 3 versus 1 retake. That's what I'm saying. In that situation, it can very quickly turn into Chopper's favor. And this, again, Magic's every round that dude has been running out long, and like an animal, he's succeeding. What is he at right now? 13 kills? No, 12. 12 for 5. He's top fragging over on the Team Spirit side. And again, he came into this team. He was very shy when he started. He hadn't found his place. It was a questionable one. I think we got to do their first games when we weren't even sure if Sotfik and Coldy were off the lineup, whether these guys were just standing in.
Yeah.
And we were a bit confused as to where Magic's fit into the equation because he's coming in with Mur, a very experienced player, and he wasn't putting up the figures. But Spirit obviously saw something in him that to this day has just been proven that he had what it took. He just needed a little bit of time to really get comfortable in this team.
I mean, he's 16 years old, right? So that's the most impressive part. And he did seem pretty shy when I was talking to him during the interview. And so maybe it took some time for him to fit into the roster. Maybe it took time for him to get comfortable. And now when he is comfortable, maybe he starts to build the confidence. It gets to seem like Big, where you're just entry fragging not long, playing through the smokes, incredible stuff coming in. It's always good to see a young player start to rise. And we've got the double up setup still working here. It was certainly something that got Big back into things. We'll see if they can deliver. Idis balance scoped in through the mid doors. Nick goes deep in towards the tunnels, but they're not landing enough damage. Tabson scoped in, moving forward on the right side. Currently a player waiting for him. This is a very ambitious peak from Tabson. I don't think he should go any further. Getting into that position when there's could be multiple players there. Once you take that initial shot, you may find a kill, but the trade should come through. A little bit of a gap in the smoke here for Magix to play with. Centauros is close by, but Magix can't quite see him.
See, he knows how close he is because of the nade being pulled, but he's conscious there could be an op on that corner.
Yeah.
And he starts to back off, thinking, okay, I'm being baited in here. There's at least 2. But there's not. Big this time not committing heavily towards long control early on. They took a bit of aggression on short. They've obviously got info peeking down. They're trying to force the fights. Here's Tabson going forward, though, in tunnels. This is dangerous. This is not what we wanted to see. Tizian's still set up for support, so Tabson going in there. I mean, sure, if Tizian's there to flash him in, but it looked like the communication wasn't there on what the strategy was.
If Tizian's with him as they're pushing through, the trade comes in immediately.
Yeah, sure. If he flashes in, then Tabson pushes, and then maybe even a trade further, but you can see the position he was in. He was ready for Tabson to take a shot, and then the flash goes through as they push tunnels, not as Tabson pushes tunnels.
25 seconds. Team Spirit have got to go, and they're going through catwalk. Smooya, it's time for you to shine. Flash up into the air. Op picked up as he looks back in. The rest of Team Spirit coming through in 15 seconds. Smooya could just deny it all. He misses the first shot. I don't even think he took it. Finally, he will hit the shot. Looking for more on catwalk, and he's got that as well. He hears the digits being punched in as he wants to deny, but he cannot do it. He lands the shot, but not enough damage. And Big cannot put the numbers on the board. Team Spirit, it already, and a chance to do more. Big, close again, but no cigar.
No, this is getting very disappointing for Big. The performance on Dust 2 isn't matching what they were hoping for coming into this game. Only 4 rounds on the board, and of those, only 1 has been a full buy versus full buy round. Now, I don't know if you've been tracking the economy of Spirit at home, but I think it's safe to say they won't be ecoing anytime soon. As we said, a lot of them had the 16K mark even hit at one point.
And that's the difficult thing for Big, right? Because you have to fight so much to win rounds, and even when you win them, you're not getting anywhere because you're not breaking that economy. Every time you play, it's going to be difficult. And Tabson picks up 1. Mir steps in with a headshot on towards Nex, and wow, Idis balance doesn't get a single kill there. That's a little bit strange, but Smooya alone, still in a position where he could win this. He's picked up 2 already, needs the quad kill as he runs right through the door. He doesn't check the right side, and Team Spirit, they will go to 9. This is quite the performance from the CIS roster on Dust 2. And we generally talk about this map being a bit of a home ground, a home turf for the CIS rosters. And, well, they're certainly showing why.
I mean, never mind the roster even. This is just Magic's going to town on them. He's got 15 kills already. And again, it's not his role. It's not what he came in to fulfill, but I'm loving watching this. Moving in towards long early on, Spirit are setting up for it. The first guy doesn't go in there, though. Chopper was the first man, but he's going straight through short, popping a flash around and trying to get that control as the rest of the team waits outside of long. They're even smoking over short for him, actually, so he can make a little bit of a move and claim that control. Once he has it, they'll look to push long afterwards, and there's only one player there at the moment. I'm presuming that's Xantares.
Oh.
It is indeed, and he's now tucked in the left corner, unless they leave this unchecked, which would be very dangerous. I think he's got a lot to do.
Well, Chopper, he's doing damage every time he goes back, but still won't pick it up the kill. He'll just hold this position down. Doesn't want to overextend, but Xantares, he's under pressure. Can he deal with it? Of course he can for two. Can he get a third? He was close to doing so, but unfortunately cannot line up the third play. But enough has been done to keep it even. Chopper still making his way up. He was aware of the position close by, but this time Tizian swings wide. He gets one, but Idis balances there on the trade. They spot the bomb in that peak as well, so important information picked up for Big. But look at Chopper, still so sneaky up in towards the A-bomb site.
Good communication from Chopper to tell his teammates on long there's more than likely a player there, because he wasn't seeing anyone on the side, anyone around car, so he knows at that point, okay, more than likely there's going to be a dude in position. This is unfortunate, but the bomb is picked up. Okay, it's thrown across. The only thing here is that it communicates to the other team that the bomb is on the site, but they get that info in about 2 seconds afterwards anyways. Now Chopper tucked in on the bomb site. He's got one coming from short and one right below with the AWP. Does Smoothie go in for the jump shot again? He wasn't successful last time, got the tag, but no kill.
I think he's more just trying to find this kill off towards long first of all before attempting any heroics. He will move forward, and there's the kill. Now it's only Chopper, the in-game leader, looking to try and take off their heads. Information gathered on his exact whereabouts, but Smooya attempting it time and time again, but the time is ticking, and he will eventually get it. Smooya pulls off the kill, but there's no time for the defuse. He's got to flee the scene. It's going to be a 10-4 scoreline. Team Spirit hit double figures, and it's gone every time. For Big, it's just gotten worse and worse.
See, I mean, Chopper played that perfectly. He knew, I don't need to care about Smooya at this point because he's jump shotting. He's taking a risky play. It's like rolling a roulette wheel. I need to deal with the player that's actually coming for me from short. And if I die to Smooya, I die to Smooya. You just have to deal with it in that sense. He takes the good gamble. And Smooya had good information because of the one smoke. He knew there was a player on long, which is why he was able to just focus up there. Had there have been two smokes on the cross, it's a different situation because you don't know if they're both side, if one's goose, anything like that. But the info was definitely there for Big to work with. Still 10-4. This is not a great scoreline for them. Ops spamming down mid. Don't net anything, but they've got spare weapons. Still a lot of spare cash as well. They could buy for 2 more rounds or 3 more rounds as it is, but this is the last round of the half, and their bank accounts will be wiped and drained right after. For Big, that's already the case, as they've had to fully invest into it. Tizian on an SMG, and even a scout making an appearance. As the push comes out on long, though, those weaker weapons still winning, as the one of the few M4s that's in play finds a frag.
His balance goes through the mid doors, scope up in towards the window. They still have to try and source this trade kill, and they might just get that opportunity in a few seconds towards the CT spawn. Moving forward, I just balance the patience. Oh, he unscopes. Molotov going to go in though, and he will get a chance, and he will eventually drop tabs in. So it's back into a 4v4, back to even odds once more.
Tabson wasn't happy about that one. He looked a little bit cut off. And the smoke coming down. Oh, this is very aggressive from Tizian. He's got an SMG, close range fight, but he finds it. And down goes Murr. Mid control goes to Big, but the push is coming in on the B bomb site.
Well, one kill from the MP9, a scout picking up one as well. It's all an Idis balance. Can Big hit their 5th to end the half? It would be something. It's not a great half already, but 5 is better than 4, and well, it will be a 10-5 half. Team Spirit dominant on the T side. We'll see if Big can bounce back in the second half. Welcome back to the second half, ladies and gentlemen. Big only managed to post 5 rounds at the half. A big performance from Team Spirit on Dust too, but we know this is their comfort ground. We know the T side is strong from these CIS rosters. We'll see if Big can do the same on their T side though. They need to win this pistol. They need to get off to a good start.
They do indeed. I mean, making it a comeback from this point is going to be rough enough for them. T-side up against Spirit, who've just been fragging like crazy, but we'll see if they've got what it takes as we roll on forward. Spirit have just one kid in play. It's Idis Balance that's taking it, surprisingly.
Well, Idis Balance picking up the double flash and the kit. The rest of Kevlar and Sam Young looks to hold on as Big start to put pressure in towards this side of the map. Headshot comes through from Sam Young. The initial hold is perfect as they find two, but finally Smooya will draw blood for Big, and a follow-up coming in as well from Smooya. 3v3, and now they can just slow the play down. Big can start to relocate. They want to go in towards the B-bomb site, which certainly would be the wrong call at this point because everyone is there on the CT side. Big have made the right call. They're running back. They've bamboozled Team Spirit, and they go back in towards T-spawn. Chopper might just spot them crossing. He does. He sees them in T-spawn. He tries to do damage. It's not coming through just yet. Chopper's going to try and seize control as they run up middle quickly. This could be a problem for Big, as they are not under pressure from this push up middle.
They are indeed. Big on the rotate over. They're going to be able to make it to the B-bomb site. No, maybe not in time. The A-bomb site even. As Magix picks them off on the cross. I thought the Spirit were going to be a little bit slower coming up through short, but not quite. Now Tabson's got a rough situation to recover. Long-range fight versus the USP. Never going to be favorable. Trying to close in the distance here with the block in hand. Failing to land the shots initially, and here's the second player down below. He's checking for it, though. Has the information, but unfortunately he's outnumbered. And the bomb dropped. They knew exactly where he was coming to.
Yeah, I like the call from Biggs, you know, the decision to fall back. But then also, in a way, I wish they just committed to the B-bomb site, right? Smooya gets those two initial kills.
Yeah.
If you just overrun and you find one more, how many players are going to be playing B? Barely any, right? So once you've dealt with these two players, I think you just commit in towards the B-bomb site. I think you just try and get this ball planted. It's so difficult to recover the site. And you can see that they made the... They made it harder for themselves, right? They made it way too complicated. Unfortunately, they do lose the pistol, putting Team Spirit up to 11.
Yeah, it was a weird choice. The CTs were only in CT spawn by the time that both guys died on B, so it would have been an easy crossover, but getting caught out later on, that leaves them in this round with nothing to work with. No bomb plant means no money, which means no weapons. It's all just the Glocks, and they tend to get torn apart. Now, the one highlight, though, for Spirit is the... Oh, don't lose Mur here. I like... That's a decision we've actually seen a lot of teams fail to make, is Mur on 9 HP going, I'm not pushing here, guys. Like, one of you go in first. We've seen a lot of players just swing out on 1 HP, on 10 HP, and try to take fights, get that extra money. But it's really important with the way they've invested that they save over all of these weapons. If you lose even one player right now, that's going to slap you in terms of economy. Mur upgrades over to an M4, but you've still got 2 SMGs and a Scout. Those are pretty big disadvantages compared to what Big are rolling with.
Well, Smooya towards T-spawn, scared to raise his head again. Doesn't want the kill, but the MP9 looking to hold down. It's going to be one kill. Magic's able to pick it up. Centera's finding success. Magic's just rattling them away. He will start to throw the nade on in towards Longhouse, but they can't. Yeah. it doesn't quite reach the intended mark, so it does come back, do a little bit of damage to him, but he's come up better. He's found himself 3 and immediately stopped any chance of Big winning this round. It's
a 2v5. Smooya's got no armor either. He glass cannoned, and it's not ideal when your whole team gets just torn apart. So in a 12-5, and for Spirit at this point, it should be a fairly clean round. You lose maybe 1 or 2 players, but the fact that you've got the bomb means you're not even that worried about them going B, them splitting you. They have to go back in towards long where all your players are sat down. Smooya takes the peek, but again, no armor to play with. He's instantly screwed in that fight.
Yeah, the situation here for Big is the bomb is immediately lost, right? You have to try and engineer a way to recover that and then find a way to get the bomb on towards the site. And in that way, it's impossible. So Team Spirit get it done. 13-5. They are 3 away from victory on map number 1 of the series. We had a 2-0 earlier on today with Ents taking down Tai Lu. Perhaps we can have a 2-0 here as well if Spirit can close this out in such a convincing fashion. Even on the second map, Team Spirit, in the way that they've won this, they're just looking much better on an individual level, which is sad to say because we know Big has the potential to show up, but it's only really Smooya and Tabson hitting the shots today. And you have a player like Centeras who want to be able to deliver, right? He's meant to deliver. That's what he's brought into his team to do. And unfortunately, even on a map like Dust 2, he hasn't quite hit the numbers we expect from him.
Yeah, look for Spirit moving on to Nuke. This is the thing for Big now. They had no idea what Spirit were going to pick. Their map pool is so open, and so frequently they play pretty much every map that for Big, in terms of preparation, there wasn't a whole bunch they could be fielding. Pushing in towards the B bomb side here, you've got a heavy stack for Big. Everybody here running on into Sumdai Young and Mur, though, and getting torn apart as they do, coming through the smokes one at a time. Those were their smokes, but somehow they just completely worked against them.
Yeah, this isn't... I was speaking to Tabson earlier, obviously, in the interview. We asked him about CIS teams. They said they got absolutely destroyed recently by Hard Legion 2-0. They could be saying the same here against Team Spirit, which is a little bit unfortunate, but these CIS teams are so hard to deal with. For so many teams.
When you do that, I mean, the smokes that Big had thrown meant that as they pushed out, yes, they had the numbers advantage, but every fight they took was a 1v1 because none of their teammates, they were either behind the smoke or on the other side of it, so that they couldn't trade. And then you're pushing through the smoke to try to trade, and we know how that goes, unless you're Tylo.
Yeah, they do have a bit of an act or a knack for pushing through every smoke and finding quite a bit of success off the back of them, but Nine's balance up on short. He will find himself the head of Tabson that just gets torn off his shoulders. Man advantage in play for Team Spirit. Santara's smoke available. He's going to use that for the CC cross. Well, at least he was thinking about it, but he's back to the rifle and back to the smoke. Indecisive.
The man can change his mind. For Spirit at the moment, look at this. They're just being pincered in, Big, making their way all the way through middle. There's no one in tunnels, though, and freedom for Mur to peek out. But he only gets one before falling. And Big finally in the lead. With the man advantage anyways.
Oh, nice shot from Midas Bounce, but he's dropped by Xanteras. And yes, this is looking like a big round on the board. Unless Magix, who's been on another level, pulls this off. I mean, Xanteras is 19 HP. Magix has a nade, so this could be a problem. He doesn't use it quite for the right position. A little bit too far off of Xanteras' position, and well, the headshot is through. I called out Xanteras in the previous round, and well, he certainly delivered in this one.
Yeah, maybe they can hear us up on the stage. It's like,
I doubt it.
I'll show you, bro. Now they've got those noise-canceling headphones, and they're beautiful. We have a worse pair of those even, and we probably couldn't hear anything.
Yeah.
This is it's an unsatisfactory round for Spirit, but they can throw Big a bone every now and then. They're not going to be too worried at this point. They've got such a hefty lead. Big have got a lot to recover from after that first half, and indeed how this one started. The MAC-10 coming into play for Tizzy and everyone else on the rifles, but Spirit are in the same boat with a double op setup making an appearance. 3 M4s backing it up. Utility is a little bit waning, just 30 seconds into the round, but it's still more than workable. For Spirit, they've got a 2-3 hold. Nobody down towards middle, but they can expand one of their B players into that position.
I just balance his iron goal so strong. Usually you'll take that one pick and fall away, but I just balance. He's confident enough just to stay in that position. Now there's a man advantage to play with for Team Spirit. There's no trade from Big. No attempt at it either. Molotov in towards CT. That's going to force Chopper into the smoke, and he's going to play with this and try and catch a timing using this sound to his advantage, but that's a way to get the trade. Taps him right through the smoke. Knows the lineup for the headshot angle on the box, and is able to take himself a kill right through the smoke.
That's Rune Spirit's setup. They had Sumdai Young looking down from the doors. As soon as he took contact, that's when Chopper was swinging out through the smoke to help with the fight because they'd be looking up at the doors. He comes behind them. No longer the case, though, as Spirit have to dedicate another player over towards B so that they can effectively hold down mid and tunnels. And the aggression from Magix, it gets him 2. Down to a 3 versus 2. Man advantage now to play with for the CT side, but they still don't know where those remaining players are. It doesn't matter because Idis Balance has dropped the bomb, leaving Xanteras all alone in a 1v3. Attempting to pick it up. You called him out last round and he delivered a 3K. He's got to do it again, though.
This time, alone. 20 seconds left. 1v3. Headshot picked up on towards Chopper. 2 more to find. 12 seconds to go. Idis Balance will pick it up. And Xanteras will fall. Mitch making fun of my voice crack.
This time, we're going to be seeing Spirit rocking up on map point. It's 15-6. And we're not looking too happy over on the big side. Not too surprising either, considering where they're at in life right now. Having to get themselves the rifles, second best team in Germany on the stage over there. Tabson's going to slap me after this game for saying that. No, nobody tell him, please.
Yeah, I don't think you'll win that fight, but 15-6, possibly the last of regulation. We'll see if Team Spirit can end this here. Looking for a pick. Idis Balance in towards lower tunnels. He'll look to pick up next. as he moves forward. Next, just patiently waiting for it, and there's the kill. Opening for Big to play with. They need everything they can get. The advantage was not quite there in terms of weaponry, but perhaps in manpower, they certainly have that now. So they're going to start making their way forward in towards the A-bomb side. Bit of a gap to play with, and Magic's looking to try and connect on towards Santeros, which he does stellar, and it will be 2 kills. Tizian falling, and Magic's is still alive, still kicking, and he wants even more.
They have a smoke on next, but he's over towards B, so they couldn't get the second one down. This is a disaster for Big. They could have had a really favorable round. With the bomb planted, though, Spirit are sure to still go for it. Chopper has just cleared out tunnels. Now as they move through middle, they know that they can get onto short. This is costing them a couple of seconds, but they've still got time to go for it. With 3 kits in play, it should be no problem. It grants them those extra couple of seconds to mess around. Flash on short, it's cleared as well. Now they know most of the players are going to be either on the site or towards long. Good flash stops Tabson from peeking and goes in for the heads. They're pushing through the smoke as well, but not looking towards him. And good pickup by Tabson.
Oh yeah, great kills from Tabson, but it's all on Smooya. 1 versus 2. He finds the first kill and now needs more. It's all on the mirror inside of the site, but the time is ticking, and Smooya, has he done it again? He has indeed. Big barely survived, but they get it on the board.
No, but Smooya died on the way down the ramp. That's an op dropped, and it means there's going to be no AWP for Big now coming into this round. Matter of fact, the investment's going to be shocking. They can barely afford AKs at this point.
Yeah, well, they're just happy enough they got the round win. It would have been far worse on the alternative.
Sure.
Mac 10 here for Santeros coming out. It's going to be a chance to pick this up. The one positive is, if you take a look at Team Spirit's money, it's in the bin. So Big certainly are going to be able to pick this up. They've been working away, chipping away at a few kills here and there pretty much every round, but now's the time for them to get back into this map. Tactical pause coming in from Big, and they're just trying to figure out what they need to do moving forward overall on this T side. This round is of course important, but they can no longer make any mistakes. It has to be flawless just to pull it to overtime.
Yeah, the thing here, you want to make sure 100% that you're sure what Spirit are buying up, where their money is at. It can be hard to track when you get 6, 7 rounds into the game, or into a half. For Big at the moment, what even was that?
Only smoother things, I guess. But
UKCS. But for Big at the moment, they're facing off against a couple of Deagles, small like scraps of armor.
Yep.
Spirit are going to be relying on their money coming through in the next round. And look, they've got plenty of rounds to play with. They could force 3 rounds in a row if they want to, and still not be in that bad of a position losing all those rounds. But they want to take it a little bit slow, make sure that they're closing it out in a convincing enough fashion and not allowing Big an avenue back into this game. We said they were going to be shy of AKs, and Big only have 2 to work with. And can we just appreciate the symmetry of the buy? Galil, AK, Mac 10. AK Galil. It looks beautiful.
Only someone like you would see that, Mitch. And well, we are into the next one, round 23. Mac 10 charging on through at Santeros, who will find himself death to the Deagle of Mir. Chopper also following up on that. Luckily, Tabson managed 2 kills before falling, but we're in a situation now where Big definitely do not want to lose this. They can't lose it, and Magic's is still alive. A player that's been so consistently strong in this position, but Tizian just drive-by, drops Chopper and Magic's, and it's all on some Die Young. 5-7 and armor, but Tizian does it all. 3 kills being picked up. An important round picked up by Big, and then we'll go to another. 15 on the board. Another low buy coming in here from Team Spirit. Big go up to 9. Once they hit those double figures, if they get to 10, that's when the mental switch turns on, right? You realize you're in a position where you can feasibly pull this off. You can pull it all the way to overtime. Then it becomes a different beast, but you come to that when you come to it.
Big also lost a lot of weapons there, so if Spirit can just do some more damage, would be feeling good. Problem is, they've got 3 USPs to work with alongside the P2 Fitties, and it's never going to be easy to get a lot of kills with that. They group up towards the B side, hoping to catch them off as they move forward, and there's 2 on the board immediately.
That's just great entry from Santeros. Yes, against the pistols, but well played. Mir will find himself an AK picked up, and that's the problem. He also has a player playing from door, but he's gone. Dropped, and Mir gets another. Smooya able to stop him, but Big barely survived. That again comes way too close. And while Big on 9, another buy coming in here from Team Spirit. Big have to be flawless in every single round. I just
love the confidence. Like, yeah, they're on pistols. It's rush B.
Yeah.
That can only end well.
Yeah, it's definitely a risky decision, but they do run over the top of him. perhaps knowing that Team Spirit don't really have the utility to hold them off. Sinteris does a really good job at getting those two important opening frags. But now again, Big, are they going to go for the exact same strategy? Indeed they are. B push coming through. This time there's Molotovs. This time somebody is ready with a rifle. He'll only manage one kill, and it's on to Tabsun, a player that's delivered so much impact for them in previous rounds, that's kept them alive in this game so far. And well, 4v4, Big have the B bomb site. This retake is very difficult for Team Spirit.
They've got the utility to work with at least only the one flash which could come over from Mur. That should signal the push beginning. Magic's already in there. He's not able to find anything. They were too slow in popping that flash over for him. And now into 3 versus 4, you can see they immediately decide to save. I feel like the flash needs to go in while he's still alive so he can do something instead of afterwards when you're going to go for a save. Timing not great anyways. 15-10. Big have managed to pick up another round, and this will be Spirit saving over these weapons. They haven't got a lot of money, and like you said, Dingo, this is where the mental switch maybe comes into play, and Big can start to feel a little bit more confident because this is doable.
I just love the fact that they rush B again. They just go for a shoot away. This time they only lose one player, and once you take that B bomb site, it's so difficult to get back when you're a CT player. So you can see Team Spirit immediately contemplating whether or not they wanted to even go for it at the beginning. They do save their weapons in the end. Magix has slowed down a little bit in terms of his performance, but look at the kill differential. It's not large at all on this Team Spirit side. So everyone's within a couple of kills of each other. Over on Big, you can say the same up until maybe the last 2 players, but tactical pause coming in from Team Spirit. It's their first, so that really does show that they have not been struggling whatsoever until this point. Big in a position where they can feasibly get this to overtime, which would be absolutely incredible.
Would be a huge comeback. Definitely not one I would have expected at the halftime, and then even less so when Team Spirit picked up the first 4 rounds in a row of this half. It looked like that was pretty much the final nail in the coffin, but Big on their way to the final boss with just 1 life left. Shot on the cross onto Iadis Balance. That's certainly going to make it a little bit easier. Smooya powering up the T side as they move in towards B. What a surprise. Yet again.
Big certainly looking like they want to finish on the B bomb site once more. Most of their players coming this way. Samdai Young might just be under pressure. But Big slow the pace a little bit. They want to play contact in behind the smoke. They'll boost Tabson over the top to see if he can spot anything. Actually, Smooya is going to get up on top of the triple boost, and it's not exactly going to plan just yet. Eventually, they will get up, and oh, this is awkward. Smooya, the smoke's faded. And while he still has a chance to drop the player, it might just come at the perfect time. Samdai Young extends. Smooya cannot be accurate enough, unfortunately. But I like the idea from Big.
That was cool. I feel like we're here to watch Counter-Strike, but we got to watch a circus act for a little bit. It was fun.
Get your money's worth here at the Champions Cup, that's for sure.
We should have had that playing in the background. We'll edit it in afterwards. But for Big at the moment, it's they found the pick on the cross, went fast towards B, got slowed down a little bit by Util, decided, okay, you know what, we'll just try to find the picks afterwards. Now they're renegotiating their way to A. This was a pistol round strat that didn't work out for them. But this time they've got a man advantage to work with and plenty of weaponry and 2 smokes for the cross, which is what they were missing last time.
Oh, flash around the corner, Smooya. 3 players in this position. This is not going to be a favorable fight for him. He does land 1 shot, but no death coming in the way of the CT players. This is going to be difficult for Big to deal with. Smooya under pressure. He deals with the first kill well. Pistol available. Low HP on Magix, but somehow it still doesn't get the kill. Magix picks him up with a FAMAS. Mir dealt with Tabson. Important headshots coming in. And Big still surviving, still kicking. You know, the double up setup, it's too much of an investment with them being so low. 8 HP and 6. They've got to save the weapons as they back away from the A bomb site. Big don't really have the money to hunt this at all, so Team Spirit, they came close to losing every single player, but it seems like they'll walk away with 2 ops. Big will go to 11. And really, they are pulling this back. They just had a slightly better performance as well. Maybe in that first half, it certainly could have been a different story here, but they've warmed up into it, and that's all that matters. Map number 2 will be Nuke. A map that Big have decided to pick.
Well, I was hoping that they would be able to put up a fight here, but to be honest, it wasn't looking likely. I didn't feel it. But with the 15-11 scoreline at the moment, this comeback they're having now on the T side, not where I would have favored Big either. I'm feeling good about their possibilities then when we move on to Nuke. This is a very heads-up game. Big were slow to start. Now, as the CT side timeout comes through, this is where Spirit are starting to get a little bit worried because they're about to make a big investment. And before you do, you got to consult your financial advisor, make sure that you're doing the right things with your money. That's what Spirit are doing right now, talking to their coach, making sure that the ideas they have are the correct ones. I say talking to their coach, he wasn't really saying much there. But
Yeah,
I guess it's already being communicated.
have to use 2 tactical pauses within quick succession, and that's something they haven't had to do throughout this entire match. So certainly feeling the pressure now big. They've got to feel like they're in the driver's seat in terms of momentum, but Team Spirit can certainly shift that. Double up setup saved over, and that's a huge problem for Big. We'll see whether or not Sam Dayoung and Idis Balance can wield them to success. Next on the AWP, Smooya on the SG. I can't help but feel this literally just has to be spawn-based.
It has to be. Smooya's been playing very well with the AWP. Now we see him swap over. Yes, there we go. If not, that'd just be BM for next.
That would just be, yeah.
I'm going to take this, bro. Sorry. You don't deserve it, even though you're having a good game.
After Smooya just opened up the last round and found so much impact, yeah. Quite the questionable decision, but Big. They don't find that initial kill they were hoping for. So they spread back into their default. Sending their players into more standard positions. You can see they're a little bit scared of the possibility in terms of Next, in case of the push through the B tunnels from the CT side. So Next has to take a slower approach and using range as he moves back in towards the tunnels. Careful as he goes back through. We've already got a player in towards bottom middle. That is Zanteres, who is ready at the mid doors to be called upon. I've got the players on Big just starting to make their way through. Smooya's the front man. They've used him as the opening player pretty much every time. But Magic strikes. How does Smooya hit that? That is unbelievable. And Chopper, he'll manage one. Tizian able to trade back, and it's a 4 versus 3. Idis Balance needs to deliver, and he has on towards Tizian. He's still alive. Next is taking damage. Another kill coming in from Mir, but Tabson on the AWP. We know he's proficient with the weapon. It's a 2v2 as they start to go in towards the A bomb site. Sam Dayoung catches the bomb. It's all on Zanteres. A 1v2, and Sam Dayoung delivers 16-11. Team Spirit, they're the victors of map number 1. Dust 2 goes their way. Nuke is up next, and we've got to hope Big can step up.
Well, you would hope so. Again, another phenomenal performance coming through from Smooya, but unfortunately not enough to bring it across the line. There's definitely some slack being found there, but not over on the Team Spirit side. They had a very tight-knit performance and a great one from start to finish. We saw Magic's entering over on the T side. We saw some amazing plays by Idis Balance when he wasn't being picked off on the cross, and Chopper in the clutch situations. This is a great Team Spirit, and I think they're going to be feeling pretty happy moving on to Nuke now with that victory under their belt.
Yeah, I think Team Spirit coming into this will always be confident on a map like Dust 2. Big had a pretty slow start in the first half. So the second half wasn't great either, but they managed to pull it back. They made it look respectable, 16-11. It's not an awful scoreline. There was times where we could have got all the way back. There's a possibility, but they couldn't quite get it done. I think you brought it up. A positive factor is that Smooya is playing like a beast, right? And he's consistent. It's not just a one-time thing against G2 where he stepped up. It's also here against Team Spirit. He's hitting those numbers consistently, and that's a very good thing to see for this player.
Yeah, it absolutely is. He's been phenomenal in this tournament. Came in as the highest rated player. I don't know how that's affected it. We'll figure it out after the series. But the other thing here for Team Spirit is that they're going to be very happy with the decider because they've guaranteed themselves at least that third map if they don't win 2-0. And that means they'll have Mirage, another very similar map where they've just, at least in the first half, dominated their opponents.
Well, map 2 goes in favor of Team Spirit. It's time for a break, but we'll see if Big can bounce back on Nuke.
Bye.